It's coming to a close. My cut is ongoing in week 16, which will be the end of my cutting phase this time. It's been the best one yet. So pleased with what I've done here. Today I wanna follow you through this week's training session, which has been a quite different one. It's been a testing week for my maxes after my cut. I wanted to do this just for the reason of knowing where I'm at. I didn't expect any new results because I've lost 10 kilograms now and is still on a caloric deficit, so it would be almost quite the miracle actually if I went down pulling new records. With that being said though, oh my god, I'm really pleased with the results. It's one thing to lose the weight and actually maintaining a lot of strength, because it's only natural to lose strength during a cut, and I know that it's quite possible to maintain almost everything as long as you keep your calories in a minimal deficit and so on. But my god, I didn't think it would be this close to my peak. In December, when we hosted and I participated in the so-called Southwest mock meet, I pulled a 240 kg deadlift, 160 squat and a 140 bench. And at the time I think I overhead pressed about 85 kilograms. Today and this week I achieved 230 kilograms, even though I used straps today. I just want to check my strength without limitation of grip itself. And I squatted 160 as my old PR and a 120 kg bench, which felt really easy. And I also additionally pressed 90 kilograms on the overhead press, which is an increasement of 5 kilograms. So a PR after all. I also pulled an overhead press on 95 kilograms a couple of weeks ago, but that was with a little momentum and with semi-bad lockout, so I won't count it. But I know I'm capable of moving it. Regarding the overhead press, earlier in the cut I want to start to chase that 2-plate, that 100 kilogram overhead press, which isn't far away at all at this point, but I knew that it would become more and more difficult the longer I proceeded into this cut. But even in a caloric deficit I managed to increase my max with strict form with 5 kilograms. So no doubt in my mind I can achieve the 2-plate in the near future with an increased calories as well. Even though I'm very pleased with the results, the performance itself felt weak. It felt weak and restricting today. And this is because of a small limitation in my hip and kinda in my sleep. A lacking sleep today. Today I was set to attempt these maxes, but with a little worse sleep than expected I started to doubt this, but no harm in trying. Even though I often try to tell you guys that you shouldn't lift heavy or anything like that if your recovery is lacking, I just snapped today. I didn't care. I needed to see where I was at, even if I was at a weaker state. And if I'm being honest guys, even with these conditions I was in a great mood today, so it really didn't stop me. Almost whole week my hips, or mostly left hip flexor too, has been very tight and really been out of it. I don't know what it was, but something wasn't right. I tried to lock it out and really open it up today with a lot of warm up and mobility drills and so on, but I already felt that it would limit my squats, and it did. I felt how it really limited both my setup and execution, plus a lot of weight on the bar. Already 2 plates felt like something wasn't right. But I went for it anyways, because hey, why not? I mean, why not try what your best attempt is on a bad day too? Yeah. But like I said, guys, you should always prioritize your recovery. So if something isn't 100% right, it's often safer to just decrease the intensity or volume and take it safe. But sometimes you gotta break the rules too. And even though I had these limitations on the squats, I still ended up on my old squat PR, the same weight I squatted at the mock meet 4 months ago, when I was at my best, when I was 10 kilograms heavier. The same weight I squatted today with way worse conditions. So I'm over the moon, guys. Same with the overhead press. I increased my overhead press with 5 kilograms while being on a caloric deficit. So I can't really complain, guys. And I mean, the program I wrote and followed throughout these past few months really did the job I structured it for. I want to focus on squats and OHP, meaning the focus on lifts like deadlift and bench would be decreased. And you can tell the 2 lifts that remained the same and even increased, even being in a weaker state, a lighter body weight, was these 2, squat and overhead press. The lifts that we practiced very frequently. Not only did they maintain or almost increase in strength, but they also increased in stability. Felt so much better and so much stable when it came to the performance itself. And that was the aim as well for the program. That's also why I'm quite surprised over the deadlift and bench as well, because they didn't feel weaker at all, really. Yeah, both deadlift and bench landed on 10 kg below my old PR, but that was a matter of routine. I didn't feel weaker in them. I just felt like I wasn't used to them. Used to the setup, used to the technique in the same way, which altered the outcome itself. With that being said, only 10 kg below in these lifts is more than great, if you ask me. And to be fair, when I look back at this footage, I can tell that my technique and form is lacking a lot in the lifts I didn't practice during this period. So guys, frequency matters. I said it before and I say it again. If you want to become better and stronger at a certain lift, you just need to practice it more often. Because quite frankly, this is what powerlifting does. Make you study and practice the routine, the detailed skills for a lift, the mindset. I haven't done this in a long time. I made up my mind even before this cut that I would focus more on hypertrophy and don't care that much about the powerlifting part during the cut, because I was afraid of the worries of losing strength, because I knew I could build it up, back up later on, but hey, I almost remained the same after all, so I take it as a win. And don't get me wrong, I still lifted heavy on some days when I performed the compounds, but not at all in the same extent that I used to when I focused more on powerlifting. Like I said, powerlifting is so much more than lifting heavy. It's about learning to use your levers, your individual body, biomechanical factors to benefit in the performance in each lift. It's about benefits. Using how you're built really for the best beneficial outcome in a lift. But I'm really excited to incorporate more strength-based training now. Yeah. We will still continue with some hypertrophy in the future, but focusing more on compounds and not so much on isolation movements. A lot of high reps will still remain though, because I still strive to power build. And before I go, I actually wanted to reveal something exciting news revolving around my future and how we'll train. I actually applied for a membership to an association, or rather a powerlifting club where I will start to compete with. Because I'm in between weight classes now, it still too remains to choose a weight class, and even though I want to compete as soon as possible, my most optimal and realistic aim relates to be ready to compete in early spring next year, so spring 2024. But now it's time to rebuild. It's time to get way stronger and look forward. But that was it for me today, guys. Lift your limits, and I'll see you on the next one.